everybody, Jim here. Quick devotional for you. Sitting here with Wendy on the porch getting some morning sun. And I was reading James chapter 4, and I wanted you to hear this. James 4:14 through 16. James is talking to the church about what they should do because there's increasing persecution in Jerusalem and people are starting to panic and wonder what to do and how they should plan. And so he kind of speaks against this idea of planning per se, but I want to explain this in a minute. He says, how do you know what your life will be like tomorrow? Your life is like the morning fog. It's here a little while, then it's gone. What you ought to say is, if the Lord wants us to, we will live and do this or that. Otherwise, you're boasting about your own pretentious plans, and all such boasting is evil. Now, James isn't saying, don't plan. He's saying, what do you really want to be known for? Do you want to be known for what you decided to do, or do you want to be known for what God's doing in you and through you? And there's a real choice there. We all have this rather brief life where we get to determine how people will remember us, what we'll be known for, and would we rather focus on how we can be successful and make ourselves feel good, or how can we focus instead on what God has for us and how well that will impact us, but also others, and also the kingdom of God. This week I pulled out some of my old basketball card collection. I've got boxes of cards that I collected ever since I was a kid, and many were given to me by my father-in-law later on, but some of them are kind of valuable, but most of them are just mementos, and they're a lot of fun to look back at. The baseball cards I didn't keep around very much because I usually put those on the spokes of my bike. That's kind of at the tail end of that era. And then soon after that, I started collecting basketball cards, and I really thought those were cool, so I kept them. So I'm opening these up, and I've got this 1972 Topps, I think it is. Nope. NBA, I don't even know what this is, card. And it's this is a guy named Neil Walk. Remember him? Phoenix Suns, center, 6'10". Yeah, I don't remember him either. He's quite hairy. He's got some lamb chops. Apparently he averaged 15.7 points per game in 1972. You know, on a basketball card or a baseball card, you don't get a lot of information on here. You get your date of birth, your height, your weight, where you went to college, and then maybe just a little bit of information and some statistics about your game. Major League games, especially the last few seasons. And then there's usually one cute little statement they'll put in there. There's a picture in there. Can you see it? It says, Neil works out with weights. Well, isn't that fun? That's it. So today we look back. I don't even know where Neil Walk is. Is he alive? Is he still around? Neil, if you're out there, maybe contact me. Let me know. I'm worrying about you. We don't know what happened to him. Most of us have never heard of Neil Walk. And yet, he was a pretty decent player in his day. Quickly, the memory of him fades. You don't hear him being talked about. It's on SportsCenter. And what about our lives? If James is saying that we're like this vapor, this mist, this fog that's here in the morning and it's gone later, it burns off, that's pretty short. We've got decisions to make about how successful we want to be in our own mind or how successful we want to be in God's kingdom. And that's what James is saying. Don't talk about what you're going to do. Ask what the Lord will have you do. Be concerned about that instead. And this is a great time, by the way, to start practicing those little things that are going to turn around the trajectory of your life so that you will be remembered, not as a person who was selfish or that climbed the corporate ladder, but as someone who impacted others or lived for God's kingdom. Maybe it means taking an eye toward the downtrodden, the poor, the marginalized, the minority, the immigrant. Out of the box and be known for something that Jesus would be known for. That's where Jesus is. That's where he wants us working and living and caring for those who maybe aren't cared for, or maybe don't deserve to be cared for, don't deserve to be forgiven. That's where Jesus wants us. And by the way, since we're still locked out of our churches to a degree, this is a great time still to practice being the church. Not just going to church, but being the church. What small step can you take this week that will change the trajectory of your life so that you'll be remembered in a different way than you are now? God bless you. Have a great week. We will see you soon.